when they boost your cocaine. Don't you know what to say?
I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that we could be successful. I am an optimist, and I'll, you know, what I'm doing in my campaign for Congress, I'll tell you about in just a moment. And a lot of people say it won't make any difference. I'm absolutely amazed at how many people are so pessimistic about the chances for actually even holding our elected officials accountable, much less cause some change. I wanted just to follow up on what Ian was saying regarding the struggle at the ballpark. I'm a season ticket holder for the Giants. I got fabulous seats. In front of the press box, lower box, premium lower box. A little bit on the left side of home plate. They're fabulous seats. Ian can't say this, but I am boycotting the Giants until they sign the contract. And yes, the Giants are not directly the contractor. They have subcontracted it to a company, Centerplate, a national company that handles this work. And every time I talk about it, I have to just remind people that this is very similar to what some of our clothing manufacturers do. And they contract it to people in Bangladesh who work for $1 or what a day. And then they say, oh, no, you know, we're not responsible. Bullshit. They are the employer. As a season ticket holder, I get emails from my seat rep. I have somebody who's assigned to work the few sections that she is, you know, and so any concerns that I have, and so I get this lovely email about how all the ball players are gathered together in the locker room and actually just talking about giving out words as to what describes the atmosphere here, and what was really coming out of that is an expression of we are family. I nearly got sick. Because what is clear to me is that family for them ends at the clubhouse door. I cannot stand to watch millionaires running around on the field when there's workers in the stands that may lose health care. More importantly, some of you may know, I was one of the proponents of San Francisco's minimum wage ordinance, which raised wages for 50,000 workers back in 2003.
Yeah, that's great.
I spent a lot of money on that campaign. It pisses me off that we have an employer who is seen as a great contributor to San Francisco. They are paying people less than minimum wage for the first 50 games for any new employee. I'm seriously considered suing them. The legislation which we wrote allows me to sue not only Centerplate, but the San Francisco Giants. And I look forward to that possibility and the possibility of that. I really do appreciate, they also do have some, Local 2 has some information over here that it's called the Giant Zero, and I encourage you to pick it up before you leave. It's right on, Betty is sitting right over there right next to it. And it talks about all of the increases, the benefits that Giants have had over the last several years, and there's been none of that to flow to workers. So, enough of that. I want to just talk briefly, first of all, mention just, and I know this will get back later on, but we put this on your table so you just kind of know who's speaking today. The list, you've all received it in the mail as well, but we just figured that many folks may not have brought this along. But on the back side is a summary of HR 676. Really important document to take along and to read so that you can be talking to people out in the community about what we're fighting for. Okay? So hold on to that. And so.
Yes.
So I'm a candidate for Congress. Primary election. The primary election is June 3rd. I ran in 2012, and there were 6 candidates. I finished 3rd, unfortunately, because the top 2 in our new top 2 primary system here in California move on to the November ballot, and everybody else was eliminated. I finished ahead of 3 Democrats, but I finished behind Republican John Dennis. He's a decent fellow. I just disagree with him on a lot of issues. I do agree with him on his stance that of our imperialism around the world, we need to bring our troops home. So, I am also obviously an advocate, strong advocate for single-payer universal health care. You see one of my cards that I left here on the table for each one of you. And I'm sorry that, I had to put healthcare second, and Ian, I do appreciate we need to win this, but I'm really known in this town as well for my advocacy for living wages. So, in June, there are 8 candidates that will be on the ballot for Congress. 2 candidates who will move forward to November. Nancy Pelosi will be one. She doesn't have to even campaign to get that position. So the question for voters is, and the question that you need to ask all of your friends, who is going to be number 2? People tell me even if I do finish in the top 2, I'll never get in the same room with Nancy Pelosi. I'm very clear, if John Dennis finishes in the top 2 like he did in 2012, there will be no debate, no possibility. But I am working to see if it is possible that this community can actually ask Nancy Pelosi to come to sit in front of us and to answer questions about what the leadership, not just her, but what the leadership of the Democratic Party is going to do for us over the next 2 years. What will they do? I don't think she wants to do that. I don't think she wants to be directly accountable to us. She has never debated anyone since she was first elected in 1987. And that's not democracy. But there's always been a Republican on the November ballot. And so, yeah, in San Francisco, and there's so few Republicans, maybe she can slide on that. I think it's important we have an open discussion and actually hold her accountable. Yes, you may still vote for her in November. The 2 of us are on the ballot. Yeah, she's got access to all of the money and power of the Democratic Party, and 99.99% chance she will be reelected. But along the way, let's ask some questions. And if it is possible to ask some questions, I believe it will get not only coverage here from the media in San Francisco, but it will be statewide and national and perhaps international. I am amazed, let me just, as one last thing, I was attending a political club meeting, an endorsement meeting, just a couple of days ago, and I said many of the same things here. I had been told privately that their PAC had recommended had recommended nothing to the general membership. They had split, and that I had received more than 50% of the PAC's votes, but not the 60% required for an endorsement. The general membership voted the same, no endorsement. I asked them directly, for all those who do support Nancy Pelosi, and there are many in this town, I would like to hear your concerns about actually asking her questions and asking her what she's going to do. I went to a press conference for Save City College. Finally, she showed up to say, I support saving City College. Whole hour of people fawning over her. She did not say one thing about what she would do. Just, I support saving City College. I expect more. I would love to be have that very, very small chance to be in Washington, to be an advocate. We have 55 co-sponsors on HR 676.
Yes.
I would love to be in 56. So, thank you very much for your time. I will ask